So you're thinking about moving to Charlotte, North Carolina, but you're curious to what life really looks like, especially in these warm summer months. You've come to the right place. In this video, we're gonna talk all things Charlotte, North Carolina in the summer. What is there to do? What is life really like so you can truly get the full summer experience about living in Charlotte, North Carolina? If you are new here, welcome to our YouTube channel, Discover Charlotte, where we help you do just that. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and tap that notification bell so you can continue to get notifications as we post new weekly videos. So let's dive into all things summer Charlotte, North Carolina. Probably the most common question I get asked, especially when people are relocating down here, especially in the summer months, is what is the weather? How hot does it get? Let's be honest, we are in the South, so this is a concern for some people. Like if you're moving down from New York or New Jersey or even over in California, like our weather is very different. So this is a really common question. It is hot. I would be lying to you if I said it was nice and brisk. It's not. Our average temperature in the months of June and July are sitting around the highs are the average around 90 and the cools, the average is around like your mid 60s. It does get hotter and it does get cooler, but those are your averages. In the month of August, you will start to see it cool down a little bit, kind of get down to those 80s for the highs, but it does get humid here. There are some days last year where, just out of pure curiosity, I looked and it was actually more humid here than it was in Florida. I personally thrive in the humidity. I feel like my skin is just like, oh, comes to life. However, I know I am of the minority there and most people tend to hate the humidity, but it does get humid here. It does get hot here. The sun is strong here. What I will say about it though is, like this year we've had a lot of really rainy days. We've had a lot of heavier thunderstorms, which it does rain here a lot in the spring, but not like Seattle a lot. And if it does rain, it's likely that that thunderstorm or that rainstorm is only going to last a couple hours at most, and then the sun's going to come out again. So it doesn't ruin your entire day. Now, this does happen. I can't sit there and say there aren't some rainy days, because there are, but overall, if there's a thunderstorm that rolls into town, it's usually gone in a couple hours, so you can still get out and enjoy your day. One of my favorite things about Charlotte is the second spring starts to roll around, right? We've had a couple months of winter, and even though our winters aren't bad here for us, like we don't like the cold. Most people that live here don't. Most people that live here have like moved away from the cold, you know? The second summer rolls around or spring rolls around and the sun comes out and you start to see like everything blossom and bloom, Charlotte comes alive. Live music is happening. People are out running and biking and walking their dogs more often, and just like the outdoor patios are filled, and it's just really cool because it's kind of like you wake up one day and it's like the city comes alive. So it's one of my favorite things to see, is kind of like, yes, spring is here. If you're like me, I do not do cold weather very well. You guys know I'm from Florida, so me and the cold, it's not a thing. So when I start to see that, I'm like, yes, the cold is over, the dark is over. It's like my time to shine. So weather here does get hot, it does get humid. If you are not one for the heat, one of the biggest things that I can say is, you know, I get told a lot like Florida's so hot, but it ends here. Like you have really hot months for a couple months and then it starts to cool down again. So it really is, they say you get to experience all four seasons and none of them are very extreme, and that really is true. You know, our weather here is not very extreme either way you cut it. So summers are not that bad. Yes, they do get hot, but they're not that bad. So here are some of my favorite things that I love to do in the Charlotte. Coming in at number one, my all-time favorite activity and place to be here in Charlotte in the summer is called the Whitewater Center. I know I've mentioned it before in a couple of my other videos. It is a man-made, we're gonna call it a park. It's not an amusement park. It's not a theme park, although it does have a theme, but it is a man-made park. They just actually upped the cost to park. It's $12 to park for the day, or you can get like the season pass for, I think it's like $40, which I've already been there 3 times this year and I don't know why I don't have that season pass for parking. So get the season pass, it makes way more sense. But you pay for parking, and it has a river running through it that was man-made, and it used to be the practice space for the US whitewater rafting team. So they can change the courses, they can increase the speed of the water, so they can make it harder or easier. Locals use it for like recreational activities, or if you were like an avid kayaker, they also do that. So it's pretty cool, kind of crazy to see like those people hop in there and get in their kayaks and like do these rolls and everything. Like I would drown, I would die immediately. But if that's not up your alley, they have rock climbing, have mountain biking, they have zip lining and ropes courses. It's just a really cool place. They have beer gardens, they've got a couple restaurants on site, and it's free to get in. It's super dog friendly. Charlotte is super, super, super dog friendly everywhere you go. Like off the top of my head, I could not name 5 places that don't allow dogs. That's how dog friendly it is. They actually just opened up the biggest dog park here in Charlotte. It's an off-leash dog park. It has a waterfront area. It also has a beer garden for the moms and dads of the four-legged creatures. So it's a really cool area. Even if you don't want to do anything active, it's just still so cool to go and be able to be outdoors and be kind of in that like high energy. It's quiet, even though it's busy. It is a quiet space during the day. You hear the rapids, you hear the river going. As I'm sitting here talking about it, I'm like, how can I get there today? I really want to go do this today. So you might get some clips of, I don't know, me hanging from like a zip line somewhere. But then in these summers, and I'm getting to it, I promise. In the summers, it's really, really cool because from, I think, May to September, they do something called the River Jam. So every Friday and Saturday night, and on some weekends, like if it's Memorial Day weekend, or if they're having a specific fest going on, like they have Tuck Fest, and they've got like the 4th of July, they'll do a different celebration. So it depends on what they have going on that weekend, and I feel like there's always something going on. But every weekend, at least Friday and Saturday night, they have live music starting at 6 or 7, I think 6 o'clock. It's free to get, again, you just pay to park, but it's free. You bring your own chairs, you bring a blanket to sit on, and then you go, you grab a drink or food or whatever you want, and you go find and you listen to music. And it's just there's no place like it. I know that the US Whitewater Center does have a couple other locations. I don't know anything about them. I just know, like, even still 8 years later, when I walk into it, it's amazing. It's one of my favorite places to be. So definitely check out Whitewater Center for the day, for the night, for the weekend, you name it, go check it out. Top favorite activity to do by far. If you like to be around the water and you like to go swimming, you're like, Brittany, we don't have any beaches. You're right, we don't have any beaches super close to us. What we do have is a couple unique options. So we've obviously got the lakes, right? You have Lake Norman, you've got Mountain Island Lake, and you have Lake Wylie. You can swim in all 3 of these, you can kayak in all of them, you can do boating sports in them. Both Lake Norman and Lake Wylie do have waterfront dining. Mountain Island Lake is getting one. It should open later this year, probably next year, honestly. But you can go grab a drink or grab lunch or something on the water. A lot of these places do oftentimes have live music. So even if you don't have a boat, you can always just kind of be by the water and on the lake in that way. You can rent boats here. There are several different marinas that you can rent boats. We do have a boating club here that you can get a membership at. And I've heard good and bad with them. I've heard if you want to rent a boat or reserve a boat, you need to do it months in advance. A lot of people will get an Airbnb over the weekend, get like a big group of people together on the lake, and do like a staycation. So that's really cool to do as well. And a lot of the Airbnbs actually do have boats that come with them here. So just options that you can do, but we do have lake life. If you're looking for kind of that beach area, Lake Wylie down off of Windjammer has a park, Windjammer Park. It's open to the public, and it kind of does have a beachfront on Lake Wylie. And then if you go up to Reedy Creek Park for Lake Norman, they too also have a beachfront. So there's plenty of ways that you can get kind of on the water without having a boat. There's a couple parks on both lakes that you can go check out and just walk along it. So really cool opportunities there. You can also float down the Catawba River. This is kind of down in the South Carolina area, just about 20 minutes away from Charlotte. A lot of people will just bring their floats. They'll park a car at one end. They used to have shuttle services. During COVID, that kind of got stopped. But you can float down the river, get a group of people, bring a cooler, bring some tubes, and just call it a day. It takes about 4 hours to float down the river depending on the speed that it's going at, but a lot of people do that as well. You don't want something so committed, you don't want to spend the entire day doing something. We also have Carrigan Farms. It is a rock quarry fed by natural springs. They say it's like 25 feet deep. I swear it's a lot deeper, but it's essentially a swimming hole. It's $35 to go swim. It has an open swim. You go swim for like 4 hours. They also have like concession stands on property, so you can go get drinks or, you know, a hamburger sandwich kind of thing. It's casual, it's low key, it's very family friendly, but it's a fun way just to go kind of get in the water and hang out for the day. They have music playing, so that's a really fun event. Again, you do have to make reservations for that. Tickets are $35. It does get really busy in the summer, so you do want to make your reservations. Kind of like if you want to go that weekend, make it that week in advance. They will also do events there at the swimming hole, so check out their calendar. It's a really fun experience. Water's a little chilly, so just be prepared, but it's a really cool space to go as well. So those are your water activities. And if you want something a little bit further out, like you do want to go to the beach, We have a ton of beaches within 4 hours of us, and I will make another video on day trips from Charlotte that you can do. But know that those are also an option if you wanted to make a quick day trip, I guess, or if you wanted a little bit of a weekend trip, you do have those options. So we've covered the water babies, we've covered the water lovers, the water sports, water activities, but there's so much more to do here in Charlotte. You're a hiking enthusiast, another outdoor activity, Charlotte has a ton of hikes. The closest one is definitely going to be Crowder's Mountain. Depending on where you're at in the city, this is about a 30-35 minute drive. It's a couple hour hike. I don't want to say it's easy. It kind of starts off easy, but honestly, by the end of the hike, it is pretty steep and it does get a little winded if you're not an avid hiker. So it takes a couple hours to do the hike, but once you get to the top, it is a beautiful scene. You can actually see this skyline of Charlotte. This is a really popular activity during the fall. You can go watch the leaves start to change, and it really is pretty. One of my favorite things about it, because I am not a huge hiker, is there's a winery close by, so you can like do the hike and then hop in your car, do a short 5-minute drive and go grab a glass of wine and look at the mountain that you just feel so accomplished at that you just hiked. So it's a cool day thing to do. It's a short day trip from Charlotte, a short drive from Charlotte. Parking does get busy. So my recommendation, if you are wanting to take this hike, is get there as early as you possibly can. There's a couple different trails that you can do and different levels that you can do. You can either do one all the way to the top, and again, that one takes a couple hours, or you can do a shorter one. So you can kind of make it what you want it to be. But if you aren't a huge hiker, but you need some motivation to do it, be sure to check out Verone Vineyards. It's there. It has a beautiful view of the mountain, and their wine's actually not bad. So that is my favorite thing about that hike. If you are a little bit more wanting like a longer hike, maybe a little bit of a challenging hike, we are just a short drive from Pisgah and Uwharrie National Forest. Those are anywhere from an 1.5 to 2.5 hour drive from Charlotte. They have little towns in them, like Hendersonville's along the way. There's a couple different like mountain towns throughout them, but they're really fun to go spend the day at. You can go look at different hikes. They have waterfalls in them. They have several waterfalls in them that you can like knock out 3 of them in one hike. So just something really kind of pretty to do, really fun to go do. We also have Grandfather Mountain, which is known for that sky bridge. I personally have not done that yet, but I've heard great things about it. So there's a couple different hiking options. If you're looking to just go for walks, kind of like through nature, we have the Anne Springs Greenway here, which is down in South Carolina. And then we also have, again, the Whitewater Center. You can go for a walk out there. And then we just also have a lot of parks. Like you can hop on the greenways and just walk throughout the city if you want a little bit more of an easier walk and not necessarily a hike. But if you are a hiker, we've got a lot of options here for you. Closest one, easiest one is going to be that Crowder's Mountain. Check it out. I definitely recommend it. So if you're a big hiker, you've got options. If you are a theme park lover, we have Carowinds here. So Carowinds is literally, it like separates the state lines, North and South Carolina. It is our theme park here in Charlotte. It also has a water park next to it. They do things throughout the year, so you might hear them for their like Carowinds or for their Christmas light display, but they are open year round. They've got a handful of roller coasters. They've got some good rides. You can go spend the day there. And then they also have a water park that you can kind of buy like a dual pass, and you can go like sweat it out on the roller coaster and then go cool down at the water park. So something really fun to do. It's really convenient. They got plenty of parking, so I don't have to worry about that. You can get annual passes. You can get a day pass. You can also get like the speed pass to get through the rides quicker if you want. But that's definitely a way that you can just go kind of knock out a day, cool down at the same time. So definitely check that out if you are a theme park enthusiast. And then we also have a lot of sports teams. If you guys are a sports lover, obviously we know football season rolls around in August, but we have an amazing baseball team here. So aside from the Panthers and aside from Charlotte FC, which is currently going on in summer as well, we have a great baseball team, the Charlotte Knights. They have a stadium in Uptown Charlotte, and they do day games, they do evening games, they do themed events. Like they have a Bark in the Park where you can bring your dogs. They do like Disney nights for kids. So they have a lot of really fun ways to kind of get the people involved instead of just going and watching a baseball game. But it's a really good time to go check out a sporting event here in Charlotte. You're right in downtown, so you have a really pretty view of the city. And it's just a fun stadium, so definitely go check that out if you are a sports enthusiast. We've got a couple sports options for you. I'm not a huge sports person, and I still love going to the baseball game, so that's about all I can tell you about the sports teams. The Charlotte FC is happening. Obviously, like college football starts, and one of the best things here in Charlotte, like many other cities, is we do have alumni groups. My husband and I are part of the UF alumni group, and they do watch parties. Like they have their first event coming up on Saturday. So just another really fun way to kind of get involved in other events that they do here in the summer. But I don't want to get off topic. Concerts. Charlotte has a lot of concerts in the summer months. So we've got many concert venues. We've got Bank of America Stadium for stadium tours. We have the PNC Amphitheater, and then we also have the Skylar Credit Union Amphitheater here, which is a little bit smaller, a little bit more of an intimate setting. All really good experiences. I personally don't love stadium tours. I would just rather kind of like be in the lawn seats, and if I want to bebop around and dance, I can bebop around and dance. I'm sounding like my mother saying bebop. Goodness. Anyways, but we have something really good. Like Holst Wendell's coming next month, and his tickets are like $30, and you can get a lawn chair. You can bring a blanket, bring your chair, and just go with a group of friends or go with your spouse for just a fun night out. Like anywhere, parking, you got to be patient with these concerts and expect to pay $14 for a drink. So, but we've got it. So really. And then say you don't want anything, you don't have to plan anything, you just want to spend the day outside. People, we have breweries till no end. And like there's new ones opening every single day, and almost every single one of them has a rooftop or a beer garden or patio seating, and they're amazing. A lot of them do pop-up markets during the summer. A lot of them will do live music. Down at South End, we have Front Porch Sundays. So the first Sunday of every month, a lot of vendors, like local pop-up artists, will come, and they have like hundreds of vendors come, and they line up along the light rail, which is that it's a park here in Charlotte. It's a sidewalk that takes you through the city essentially, but it's really cool. They've got live music, a ton of vendors. They have restaurants that partake in it, so it's a really fun way to kind of spend that Sunday. Again, super dog friendly. It's a really cool opportunity and a really fun way to meet people here in Charlotte as well. So Front Porch Sundays happens. You also have the Charlotte Farmers Market. Now this is open year round. It gets busier during the summer, and it's nicer out during the summer to go. So you can go knock out your shopping, your fruits, your veggies, your meats. Again, local vendors there as well. So definitely check out the Charlotte Farmers Market. But you can honestly just spend a beautiful summer day walking around South Charlotte. Start with grabbing a brunch at Early Girl Eatery, or Superica has brunch. I mean, there's just a ton of places down there. And then go grab coffee at Biddy and Bo's, and then go grab a beer at O&B or Sycamore and listen to live music. And it just is really a good, fun, high energy place. So if the weather is nice, I promise you it will be one of your favorite days in Charlotte, because everyone is out and about. And the good thing about that is it's not like a caveat. The weather is usually pretty nice here in Charlotte. So you can have such an amazing summer here. If you're a beach lover, you've got the water. If you like to hike, you've got it. If you are a foodie and a beer enthusiast, you've got it. If you just like to be outside getting your steps in, you've got it. Charlotte is full of run clubs and pickleball clubs, and they're all down in South End, all with like-minded people. You can find your niche really easily here. You can find your group of people really easily here. So I hope that helps give you an idea of what Charlotte is like in the summer. If you have any questions, drop it below. If you have a different experience or anything you'd like people to know about what summers are like here in Charlotte, we'd love to see it in your comments. If you have any questions, reach out to us, let us know. If you are thinking about relocating to the Charlotte area, definitely reach out to my team and I. And if you have any other questions, or if you're relocating here, reach out to us. There's a link in this comments here. We will send you our relocation guide. It's got a ton of good things in there, good restaurant recommendations, local shops and restaurants that you can try. So let us know how we can help. And until next time, talk to you soon.